Aaron Judge did it all in a huge Yankees walk-off win over the Angels. We've got a ton to discuss on today's Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, alongside my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, we got a lot going on.
Yes, we do. That was probably one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year. That game had everything last night. We're definitely going to talk about that. Of course, tomorrow is our Friday show, which means it's Fan Mail Friday. So make sure to drop your questions. Your last chance to get your questions answered. Comment here on our YouTube channel, this video, and you have a chance to be a part of the show tomorrow. We have a Game 3 preview matinee in the Bronx. We have some injury updates for you a little bit later on in the show. But first, we got to talk about Aaron Judge. Big game, and it started early, Stacey.
Yeah. As soon as the ball went in the air, I thought to myself, again, he did it again. Shohei Ohtani did this again. And all I have to say is, thank God Aaron Judge is 6'7", because if he wasn't 6'7", that ball would have gone out. And the fact that he was able to, once it hit off the heel of his glove, be able to catch it with his bare hand as he's in, he's in the air, falling down, doing all this stuff. He's unbelievable. And I say this all the time. He doesn't just hit the crap out of the ball. He also plays good defense, and he doesn't move like a guy who's 6'7", 282. He moves like a guy who's 6 foot tall, and he moves like Harrison Bader, basically, just not as fast. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's unbelievable. He really is. And I feel so lucky to watch him every day.
Yeah, it wasn't a too dissimilar pitch, too, from yesterday's or Game 1's home run for Shohei down in the zone off speed. Like, it was a very, very similar pitch. And crazy that, I mean, we're going to talk about this in a second, but Judge's homer in the bottom of the inning was almost identical stats wise, like StatCast wise, to Shohei's hit to center field. It was like 2 degrees different and like 1 foot different. Like, it was insanely close.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm in California, so I'm blacked out of Yes Network this week. So I've been watching obviously on Bally Sports, and I hadn't seen this before. But they have stats, like StatCast on the wind now.
Oh, yeah.
And the wind knocked Shohei's hit down by 13 feet, which is obviously a big deal there. Not to discredit Judge in any way, shape, or form. It was an incredible catch, an incredible recovery.
Yeah.
It was a huge game for Aaron Judge. And in this battle between two MVPs, like this one, like I'll say Game 1 kind of fell a little flat. This game did not disappoint. I feel like both teams really made mistakes on their own end. Like neither team played their best baseball on Wednesday night. But man, what a game! And again, I mean, what a game for Judge, man. Like, I feel like we've been waiting for something like that.
Yeah. And I was joking about the fact that it was April 19th. And I thought to myself, I shouldn't be this nervous about a game on April 19th.
Yeah, no, nerves were high. Like, tensions were high for this one. By the way, second time that Judge has robbed Shohei. May of 2021, very similar play. I mean, debatable if it was a rob, but it was up right at the edge of the wall.
Yeah, this was more of a robbery, where the other one was more of, it could have been maybe like a double. I don't think it would have been a home run
over the wall or something.
Yeah.
And then his 6th homer of the year. He had been 4 for his previous 26. When he homered, he was starting to slide. 95 center cut fastball mistake there by Griffin Canning. One of his only mistakes that he made.
Yeah, Canning looked good. Yeah,
Canning looked great. Yeah, he looked really good. But then, I mean, fast forward to the 8th, a huge game-saving catch too. From Aaron Judge. He willed this win for the Yankees.
Yeah, I nearly jumped out of my seat. Again, it's April, and I felt like it was a playoff game.
It really did. It was the most intense game of the season.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. And, lots of points where certain people were up for the Angels, and you're thinking, oh God, this is going to be really bad. And then it turned out to not be so bad, because a certain pitcher bounced back in his
Jhony Brito
start.
What did you think about Burrito's line? 4 1/3, 3 hits, an earned run that came in as an inherited run, 3 walks, 3 Ks. The Jhony Brito-esque line is back in business.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked for him to have lasted longer because, he threw a lot of pitches. But the fact that he was able to get some of those outs that he got in those first couple of innings it was amazing. I was like, wow, because what did I say on the show the other day? I said, hey, if he gets out of the first inning unscathed, this might actually help him. And I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of did. It just, he did throw a lot of pitches. That was the one main problem, and they had to go to the bullpen early. But yeah, this, it's not the perfect bounce back, but this is a lot better than last week. So he can build off this, definitely.
Yeah. We were texting about it. Just some things I noticed from Burrito. His his movement on his heater and his sinker were a little different than they were the other day against Minnesota. They were way more vertical than they were horizontal last time out. His changeup looked really good. Some of that one-off speed that he quote unquote missed to Shohei was centered down.
Yeah.
But Shohei can hit that. But he did look good. Did surrender at double to Zach Neto. That was his first career extra base hit. Gave up a knock to Trout. That was a really good at bat in the first inning between Trout and Brito. That was a really good battle. I mean, from the get go, man, this game really, like you said, it felt like heated for an April game.
Yeah.
Man, it didn't disappoint. You want Brito to go 5. But 4 1/3 is nothing to scoff at. How about just the pitching staff as a whole, Stacey? Held the Angels 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position before that Urshela RBI knock in the 8th inning. Which, by the way, to get down and get that pitch, that was he could have kicked it. Like
that
he
was
could
like
have
a
kicked that
Vlad
ball
Guerrero senior kind of a swing where
Yeah.
you just swing at anything, and it was basically like a golf swing. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, an impossible pitch. Like you can't put anything against Jhony Peralta there.
Yeah.
It was a perfect, it was more than perfect. That was an impossible pitch to hit. And Gio Urshela had a big game.
Yeah.
That play at second
Yeah.
in the 9th, for a guy that doesn't play first, he had a big game. Peralta too, I wanted to bring up that big strikeout in the 7th inning of Shohei too was massive. That was massive.
Amazing.
Off speed, down and in, off the plate. Great spot. Shohei took the bait, and God, what a great game.
Yeah, that was another
Great
one
game.
of those at bats where I was just sitting there going, my heart rate was up. I have an Apple Watch. I keep track of my heart rate while I'm watching games, and it's just really funny to see how high it gets during games like this. But yeah, Peralta, again, you can't say anything bad about his performance because Urshela really went down to get that ball. Everything else about it was great. I mean, hats off to Urshela for hitting that ball. Peralta looked great.
Yeah, he did look really, really good. Ian Hamilton got out of it, left Trout stranded on third. I mean, everyone performed. I think the only downside still is here, Stacey. This offense is really, really struggling. I wanted to ask your feelings on this. IKF pinch hitting for Franchy Cordero with Cabrera on at second. Your thoughts on that? We briefly texted about it, but I didn't want to get too deep into it over ourselves, but I wanted to ask you about it.
Should I say what I said on the text about the choice?
The splits for Franchy. So if you're wondering why IKF pinch hit there, Franchy's splits against lefties career are atrocious.
Yeah.
They're really, really bad.
Yeah.
So, and it was him or Hicks.
Right. And at that point,
because Oswald had already pinch hit.
Yeah. And I'll say it, like I said in the text, it's like choosing between getting shot or getting stabbed. It's like, who are you going to choose? So we chose IKF.
Yeah. And to be fair, that was like a frisbee changeup from Matt Moore. That was nasty. That was a nasty pitch.
That was a nasty pitch. I don't think IKF would have been the only one to have trouble with that pitch. I think anyone up in that position would have had trouble with that pitch.
IKF battled.
Yeah.
He fouled out off a couple of pitches, but he was playing catch up.
Yeah.
That whole at bat. He was definitely playing catch up. Volpe's bunt. Young kid.
Yeah.
What was that? His first bunt attempt?
I think so.
Season?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
But the rest of the game, I loved everything he did.
Great game from Volpe. Volpe played great.
Defensively on the bases, getting on base ahead of Judge a couple times. The one time when Judge hit the home run, another time happened later in the game. Judge ended up striking out. But like I said, he's getting a lot more comfortable, and I'm having a lot of fun watching this kid. I'm feeling like he's going to be a really good player.
His second to last at bat was extremely impressive. The one before he bunted the pop. He popped the bunt up. Whoops, my brain just farted. But yeah, no, I was very impressed. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. By next week, Anthony Volpe's going to be red hot. So you heard it here first. Gleyber walk-off sac fly. The walk to Judge was obvious there after the bunt attempt. The hit by pitch. Rizzo just kind of turned and ward in the elbow. He's fine, clearly. But the Gleyber walk-off, he's been slow.
Oof.
So that had to have really felt good. He was 0 for 4 before that, right?
Yeah, and he had a fly out, pop out, ground out. So when I saw like all the ways his at bats went, I actually tweeted in all caps, just hit it in the air.
Yeah, that's all he had to do.
And he did.
Deep enough.
Yeah.
Big win. That was a big win. We talked about it on Tuesday that the Yankees really needed to stop win, and they got it.
Yeah, it's just, offense is still sputtering there. I mean, it's just the getting people on base, but not being able to do anything when they get people on base. At least they're getting people on base. They're not being completely shut down to the point where they're not. So baby steps, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see what the Yankees can do about that. We have some injury updates for you today. We're going to get to in a second. Don't forget the finale, the game 3 of this series today at 4:05 Eastern. Of course, you can catch the game on the SiriusXM app. Download it in your respective app store. We're going to come back in just a second again with some of those injury updates. So don't go anywhere.
Something exciting is coming to Built.com on April 22nd. Now, I don't have all the details yet, but the excitement is real and it's something you don't want to miss. If you know how Built works, they have the most incredible protein bars in the world, and they do these amazing flavor drops with unreal flavors in limited quality. Some of the flavors that have been in limited quality: coconut chocolate chunk, which was one of the best flavors they ever made, and I begged them to make it an actual regular flavor, and they still have not done that yet. So I'm kind of begging them to do that. But you need to mark your calendars and head to Built.com on Saturday, April 22nd, to be one of the first to discover what all the hype is about. I can't wait to see what this new flavor is. I can only imagine. So make sure you use promo code LOCKEDON15 and you'll get 15% off your order.
Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, thanks for making us your first listen every day to the Everydayers. We have a preview tomorrow, of course, of the Toronto series. That's going to be another big one. This is a big test for the Yankees here in this homestand. So you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure to hit subscribe here on either the audio side or, of course, jump on over to the YouTube side. Stacey, we had some injury updates to get through. Why don't you go ahead and run through those? There's a couple of them going on right now.
Yeah, it popped up in the middle of the game on Wednesday night. Josh Donaldson, who was rehabbing with Somerset, had an MRI on Wednesday. He was supposed to return Wednesday, but something is wrong with his hamstring, and now his timetable is that he's out indefinitely at this point. So that was an interesting development. That popped up about halfway through the game. They showed it on Amazon Prime. It was on Amazon Prime on Wednesday night, but it's basically a Yes broadcast. Everyone from Yes is on it. Yeah. So I just found that interesting, and maybe that means Peraza will stick around.
Yeah, Peraza's going to stay, right? There's no other option.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was earlier in the morning he had or I guess it was maybe I can't remember how time ceased to exist. Anyway, I saw Wednesday morning that he had gotten some tests done and they were waiting for some results back, and apparently they got those results back, and we still don't really know what's going on there. They've been kind of coy about it.
Yeah.
How many times does this happen, Stacey? Where they're saying, "Oh, we're not really worried about it,"
and then it turns into
and that turns into indefinitely.
Yeah. To go from "we're not worried about it" to indefinitely is a really big jump.
Yeah, to go from he'll be back Wednesday to he's out indefinitely Wednesday. That is drastic. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
Today, Thursday, Bader and Sevy will face off. Sevy's throwing some live BP, and Bader's going to take some hacks, and then Bader is going to rehab starting on Friday. They haven't announced where yet. I imagine Somerset as well, because, again, the Rail Riders are in Minnesota right now, so it's much easier just to put them in Somerset.
Yeah.
But that's encouraging, especially considering that the offense is lacking right now, that Bader can be starting a rehab here in the next day.
Again, like I said on, what it was, a Tuesday show where I was talking about the possibility of Bader and Volpe together.
Yeah, well, it's the reality now.
Yeah.
It's about to be. What's going on with Carlos Rodon?
So he threw a pen on Monday, and the tests were good on his back issue. Now, his timetable is still unknown, but his elbow is good. That's more important. I mean, the back isn't a great thing to be injured, but when you're a pitcher, if your elbow is fine, that's good news.
Yeah, well, that was the initial problem, right?
Yeah.
That's why he was on the IL in the first place. So
Yeah.
they still don't really know. We still don't really know. They're being super cautious. I think Boone said specifically that he will be worth the wait, and I tend to agree with that adage. It's just this wait is long.
I know, it feels really
feels
long.
long,
And
yeah.
we know that we knew when he first got injured that it was going to be a while, but it feels like it's going to be more of a while. So yeah, this is pretty excruciating, just because you have to sit through Clark Schmidt starts, and that's not fun. So I'd much rather see Carlos Rodon pitch. No offense to Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, it's tough right now. But I mean, the injuries just keep piling up. I think the Yankees are one rotation injury away from nightmare.
Yes. We've mentioned the fact that they traded so many guys away during the deadline period last season, that that's finally coming back to bite them. And we're at that point where it could be a disaster. Let's hope it's not.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. If there's one more, like, it's every fifth day is a bullpen day at that point. Eesh. Yikes. Stay healthy out there.
Yeah.
Is it cold in New York, by the way? It looked chilly.
Yeah. Like, 50s, 60s, but windy, because you said that the Bally Sports had the wind stats. And, when it's on days where it's 50s, 60s, but not windy, it feels nice. But when it's windy, it feels so much colder than what it actually is. So that's what was going on. Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense. Again, finale of this series, rubber game, 4:05 Eastern matinee. The Halos have to fly all the way back, by the way, to California and play on Friday. I'm going. Shohei's pitching, so I got tickets. But anyway, you can catch that finale, by the way, 4:05 Eastern on the SiriusXM app, and of course, SiriusXM if you're a subscriber. They got 3-month trials. Go check them out. It's definitely worth your time. I was listening to John and Susan when I had to make a quick grocery stop mid-game for dinner. So yeah, sounds good. Anyway, coming up next, we got a preview of today's finale.
For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know what part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. So the third and final game of the series has the best pitching matchup, which has been a theme so far.
Patrick Sandoval versus Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
We mentioned it. What was that? Sunday's show. our Monday's show recorded on Sunday that this series was a crescendo. Started slow, middle game good. I mean, it ended up
Being
pitching match
really
ended up
good.
being
Yeah.
a lot better than anticipated.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the one, right? Patrick Sandoval has been pitching really well this season. Nestor Cortez has been pitching well for years now at this point, it feels. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is, I mean, God, if it's anything like game 2, here we go. Like, saddle up.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like it could be. It really does. It'll be interesting to see how the 4:05 start is. The broadcasters always mention the shadows and, with
They
the sun
love
going
shadows.
down. We'll
And I'm
see how
guilty
that
too.
goes.
I've
Yeah.
done it a million times. Well, the shadows are out today. And, makes it harder to see it does though.
No, it really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's, you know what it is? The shadows are akin to it has to be conclusive evidence to overturn this. We know, bro. We know. Every time. Every
Yeah.
single time.
But I'm looking forward to this one. It was funny going into Wednesday's game. My concern was just Brito rebounding from his previous start, not thinking that it was going to be like one of the best games, turn into one of the best games of the season. And I almost feel like Thursday's game is going to be a letdown from Wednesday night's game, just because of the excitement of Wednesday night's game. But you never know. I mean, with this pitching matchup, maybe it could be another repeat of Sunday.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees now 11-7 after that victory. The Halos now 9-9. So they very much want to go home with a winning record. Remember, they lost the series 3-1 in Boston prior to this set. So I don't think they're going to be coming out, lackadaisical, or at least that's not the plan. So, Nestor's got to be ready to roll. And the Yankees need to get some offense going pretty badly. So make sure to tune into this one again on the SiriusXM app, or if you gotta, if you're at work, probably throw on those headphones. Again, it's a day game, 4:05 your time, 1:05 my time, so it's day game for me. But yeah, we're going to break down the finale of this series on tomorrow's show. And then, of course, it's a new series with Toronto. So we got a brand new Hot, Cold, and Heating Up. And it's our Friday show. So we answer your questions. You've been dropping them in our comments all week. So we got your answers to some of your burning questions coming up here on tomorrow's show. So make sure you hit subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss a moment. That's going to do it for today. I'm Steve Granato.
And I'm Stacey Gatsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.